Hey everybody, we're here to go ahead and disassemble this HTC E8. You can see it's got a plastic back, which is different from the M8. It's got some plastic sides on it as well. We're going to use a Phillips screwdriver. We'll need a SIM card pop tool, nylon spudger, and possibly this tool, or you can use a razor blade or anything else you can use to get underneath the top part of the screen. Now you can probably remove these without having a hair dryer or a heat gun. We're going to pop out the SIM card and the micro SD slot real quick. So the first screws are hidden underneath the top and the bottom, much like you'd see on the HTC M7, M8. Just have to heat up the adhesive behind these plastic wings at the top and the bottom, and then just pull them back to reveal the screws that are holding the battery cover onto the front mid-frame of the phone. So we're just going to spend a little bit of time here getting it warm. It doesn't have to be extremely hot. These are plastic, so you don't want to melt them. But if you just dip your tool in and pull up just a little bit, it's not deep. It's think about maybe the distance between 4 sheets of paper, about how thick this is. Slide your tool down. Just be careful of the camera lens, or for the front-facing camera. Pull that off. Go ahead and do the opposite side. The heat does make it a little bit easier to remove. Go ahead and use our same tool. It's going to be exactly the same down here. Slide your tool down. Go ahead and pull it right off. That'll reveal the screws underneath this. They're all going to be Phillips screws. We have 2 at the top. We have 4 at the bottom. We'll go ahead and remove the top 2 first.
You're just going to keep bringing me flowers, huh? We're going to go to the prom.
We have 4 at the bottom. The 2 that are in the middle are actually longer screws. You want to separate these so you can see exactly where they go back into the phone. See, it's longer than the other 2 that we just removed. One last screw here on the front. On the bottom left side here. Alright, now with that taken care of, we can go ahead and open the back cover off this phone. And to do this, what you're going to do is basically start your way down through this SIM card slot and work your way down. It has clips that are holding the back cover onto the side of the device. It can be a little hard. Right here where I started is probably the hardest clip to get undone. This is definitely not as hard as the M7 or the M8. Well, you can see they're starting to unclip just right here. You have to work your way around the bottom here. Now across the bottom back side of the phone there's a little bit of adhesive, so it can be a little bit tricky to get this started. So once you get your pick in, you may want to pull a little bit. See if you can't get it to get loosened. Before you start going down the opposite side. There's a clip that's still up here. This top one is the hardest one to get right here. There we go. We'll work our way down the opposite side of the phone. My pick's bending, so it's a pretty decent plastic they're holding this together with. So you just can't get in there and twist it a little bit. Sometimes that helps pop the clips out. Just kind of pull back on this side here. The more positive pressure you have against the phone, the easier the clips will come undone. So let's try to create a little bit of that, and then work our way down this side here. There we go. Now we have the back pulling off. We can use this to leverage out the clips on this side. popped right off. You can pull the top out. There's no adhesive at the top, just down here at the bottom. So now you can see this phone looks much like you'd see on the other HTC phones, with the exception of this big copper shield on the back here. Right here is our battery connector. We're going to undo the 2 Phillips screws that are holding the battery connector down and pop that off real quick and minimize any damage that we might do to the phone when repairing it.
Jesus, fuck. I'll do it myself. That's the number.
Take our nylon spudger and go ahead and pry up the battery connector. Starting right here on the wing to pull this up. Now there is a wire cable antenna connector that's holding this right below it, and behind it. We're just going to go ahead and pop this off and pull it back underneath the grommet that's holding it in as well. Perfect. Now with that done, we can go ahead and start on removing the copper sheet that's on the back of this phone. So just using our nylon spudger and trying to pry that up a little bit. Now you do want to pry the sheet separate from this metal tape that's underneath it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to work our way down the sides and pry it off of this silver metal tape. And be very careful not to pull up on the connectors as you do this. I'm using my nylon spudger to hold it down as I pull the copper shielding away from the connectors. Now we're just going to work our way down to spudger here. The goal is to not rip this. Right here in the corners where these shielding will always rip. So the next step is to go ahead and separate this from the rest of the phone. Right here there's a little bit of fabric connecting tape that's holding this cable. We're going to start here from the bottom and work our way up. Now you can see that there's another piece of copper shielding on top of the logic board as well. I think it is possible this phone has more tape than the other HTC phones that I've disassembled. They're notorious for using their tape. Now right here, if we peel from the bottom, you can see we can peel back this fabric tape that's hooked to the volume connector. Alright, now with that done, we can go ahead and start on working on undoing all the ribbon cables down the sides of the phone here. To do that, we'll have to peel back this metal fabric tape here. Just starting it with our nylon spudger. And this will actually be a little bit easier to do if you have a pair of tweezers. Just get a little wing started here and then try to grip it and pull it back. It doesn't look like I have enough to grab there, so I'm just going to pull it up a little bit more. You do want to be careful. There's a lot of resistors on these logic boards that you can pop off if you pry too hard, so just be gentle when you're working your way around the insides of these phones. So now that we have a decent amount pulled off, we can just go ahead and pull it back. And it looks like underneath this silver tape they have black tape as well, which is super awesome. More stuff to pull up. Work our way down this opposite side here. Just peel back as much of this as possible. Try to reveal the ribbon cable connectors underneath it. Try to pull back this black tape as well. There we go. Now we have 2 cable connectors here. The lower one is for the display. The upper one is what attaches the cabling to the logic board. Now there's a separation between tapes here, so I'm just going to try to pull this back and separate them so I can get it removed. To peel these back out of the logic board, you'll need to peel this tape back and get it unstuck from the board. See, this upper connector attaches to the Daughterboard at the top up here. So it's using my tweezers. I'm just trying to pull this tape off the connection to the battery here. Slowly peeling it back. You want to be careful, you don't want to damage this cable at all. So we're going to peel this down and get the separation between the two cables. There we go. So now we can go ahead and pop up this ribbon cable connector, just popping the white slot up. Make sure you use something with a fairly flat surface, so that way you don't damage the connector. We can go ahead and pop off the upper connector as well. Pull that back. We do have a cable wire connector here. It's going to pop off as well. That'll be all of the connections on that side. We'll go ahead and start on this side. We need to undo this little ribbon cable connector down here, which attaches the lower speaker. Peel that back and just put the little piece of tape on the board here so we don't lose it. Pop up the cable connector and then pull back. There's a screw underneath that ribbon cable as well, which we'll get to in just a few seconds. So now we can work on this side of the phone and start to peel back the tape as well. Basically doing the same thing, just using our tweezers to peel the tape back gently so we don't damage the cables. Pulling it down. Now on this side you have, of course, the battery connector, you have the digitizer, the touch sensor connector on this side, and then you have your volume button connector, which connects to the Daughterboard at the top as well. And then of course the connections for the Bluetooth and probably the Wi-Fi on it, two cable connectors up here. Just pull this back. That'll reveal our first ribbon cable connector. We have the one for the charge port. Go ahead and peel back this black tape before we do anything else. I'm probably going to do these two lower ones together. There we go. That's the charge port and the digitizer. This upper cable here will be for the volume button. We have one more cable up here as well. What we need to do to remove this cable is it's actually holding the volume button in place, so it's not going to be able to lift up. We can't remove our battery while it's still stuck down, or the cable below it will be a lot easier to remove if we have this taken out as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our volume button off of here. You can see it's this cable right here. Let's see if we can remove it without taking the other one off. It's going to be tricky, so what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and pop out the volume button here. Let's use our spudger to pull it up. It's just got a couple little plastic wings that hold it in place. Set that aside. With that removed, we can use something to peel up the adhesive that's holding these volume buttons down. We're just going to use a dental pick here. You can use a razor blade or anything that's sharp enough to get behind it. There's a very minimal gap there that you can get your tool into. So once you get behind it, we're just going to work our way up. That will release the cable for us. Now we can go ahead and undo this ribbon cable here as well. Let's make sure it's not attached to anything. It's a little bit tricky to pull out. Alright, now we're getting pretty close. The next step is to undo the wire connectors that are holding the logic board connection here. these two. Let's go ahead and peel those back. Now with that done, it looks like we can go ahead and start undoing the screws. We have a total of 3, 2 at the top and the one at the bottom down here. So we'll go ahead and take out the bottom screw first. And then the 2 top ones. Take our pry tool here, let's work our way underneath the board. Go ahead and pull it up. Now, you want to pull all the cables away from it, lift it up as much as possible, but there is some adhesive that's holding it down towards the lower speaker. This adhesive wraps around to the mid-frame over the battery and then back onto the logic board. So to get this adhesive removed, we're just going to pull up on the board a little bit, stick our spudger in just right down here, get it in between the adhesive tape and the board, and just wiggle it back and forth and separate it. Try not to put a lot of pressure onto the board here. There's some little connectors you want to be careful of. There's a little bit of adhesive that's flapped over. I'm just going to pull that adhesive off. That was what's holding the rear cover on. So again, it's working our way down. Pull back on this board as much as possible. It's still got some resistance. I think I've undone all of the tape down here. And it looks like, oh, there's a little bit of adhesive in here still. So we're just going to put our spudger in between and pull it back. You can go ahead and pull that out and set it aside. Alright, now with that removed, we can go ahead and start on removing the next portion of the phone. And that'll be the lower speaker assembly here. Now normally this has a gap area where you can put your spudger into and pry it out, but this one's very, very minimal. So I'm trying to use the pointy side and create something to get my spudger into to help me pull it out. Try this pick and see if we can't get a little bit of separation here. There's a little bit of adhesive that's holding it down. I don't want to be too forceful because the wings on this are plastic. I don't want to damage the mid-frame of the phone at all. There we go. Got our spudger in a little bit. We can go ahead and just twist it and try to pull it back slowly. Now it is still adhered with the tape that wraps around the battery. You can see that it's not popping right off, and that's just because that same tape that's holding the logic board in is holding this down as well. Go ahead and pull that off and set it aside. This tape right here is what I was talking about. Next portion is the charge port. This also is a little tricky to remove. There's a little grommet here that can be removed. If that pops off, just put it right back on. So we're going to try to get our pick underneath this as well and create a little bit of space to work our tools into. It's got some light adhesive underneath it. That'll just pop right out for us. Now we will need to separate this tape from the digitizer cable. Go ahead and set that aside. Alright, now with that done, we can go ahead and work on removing the battery out of the phone. So it's just got 2 rows of tape, one down each side. I'm just going to pull this adhesive back. If you put your spudger in and just kind of twist it back and forth on the interior here, it'll go ahead and loosen. It doesn't have a lot of adhesive in here, so you don't actually need to use any heat to get it removed. Just twist it back and forth. And the battery will pop right out for us. You can see the adhesive portions on the back of the device there. And the next step is to go ahead and remove the Daughterboard out of the phone. And to do so, we're going to have to remove this vibration module out. It has a little connector on it, but it's easier just to pull it right out and just leave it connected to the board. We actually have 3 screws that are attached to this, 2 on the left and 1 on the upper right hand side. So let's go ahead and pull our Phillips screwdriver out and pull that right out. This will be a last screw for the phone. And now this next portion is where it gets a little bit tricky. HTC normally likes to use some adhesive to hold down this right side of the board to the mid frame. So you're going to want to look for where that adhesive is. It's going to be right here at the top. Here's our power button. You want to make sure you don't damage that as well. It looks like it's got a little clip here. So if I put my spudger on this side, I can see it wiggle back and forth, but not a lot. There's adhesive just right in this area. See, it's very firm on not wanting to come up right here. So what we need to do is try to separate the adhesive from the logic board right here. Now, I don't want to damage it, I actually want to keep it. So I'm just going to use a razor blade to kind of try to separate it, just barely. It's not a very thick adhesive. In width, it's about maybe 1 millimeter, but it does go around the interior portion of the phone as well. We also need to separate this power button. To do so, just put that same thin tool you use to remove the volume button behind it and pull it forward. Just be nice and gentle. This cable is a little fragile. There's a little adhesive underneath it. If you can, just put it back down where you pulled it off from. There's a little clip right here. I can't tell whether or not it actually holds this board into place. They are known to put clips around the logic board to hold it down, plus that adhesive. So it might be something that needs to be removed. And it looks like this is the area where it's holding the board from removing in. So we're going to work with this just for a few seconds and see if we can't get it unclipped. So just pull back. Now this is a plastic clip, so you don't want to damage it. So be gentle as you're pulling on it. Normally our front-facing camera would want to pop out, but this one is really stuck in there with some adhesive. So we're going to have to actually undo the cable connector to it. It's just underneath this little black piece of tape here. Let's go ahead and pull that back. It's a little ribbon cable connector. And we'll actually just undo both cameras, the rear facing and the front facing here. Can't get that ribbon cable out of there. Be careful not to damage your cable when you're pulling on it. Try the tweezers and see if I can get it wiggled out. There we go. Now we can see that the board will come free for us. It's still got a little bit of adhesive in there, it looks like. Let's kind of pull it back. Just make sure your ribbon cables are clear for the cameras as you pull it up. See right in here, I'm just going to wiggle it a little bit. There's a ribbon cable holding it in and this tape down here. I'll go ahead and pop right out for us. So here's our Daughterboard, the power button, and it runs underneath the board and connects to the cable below. You can see there's a ribbon cable connector right here. So it folds around, so it looks like this is all one connection. It's just taped to the underside of the board for the volume button, power button. So if you're looking to replace this ribbon cable, you just need to pop this connector out, undo this cable all the way across here, and then put the new one on with the tape. Go ahead and set that aside. So now we have our cameras and our earpiece speaker still attached here. Well, we'll go ahead and remove these. So if you're looking to replace them as well, just pull the camera out. Just in the corner there's a little gap here you can get your tool under. It is held in with some double-sided adhesive. It's that little silver tape. We can work our front-facing camera. Now, if your earpiece speaker isn't broken, I would not remove it up here at the top. It seems like whenever you try to remove these from HTC phones, it damages the frame, and then they sound a little crackly when you put them back in. So I just leave it in there. The front-facing camera actually has a decent amount of adhesive on it as well, it seems like. Yep, there we go. You can see it pulling off right there. Now I'm going to remove this just so you can see what it takes to remove this earpiece speaker. I can imagine that this will have to be replaced at some point in a lot of phones because of the sound. So you can see it's adhered down, and pulling it up will kind of fracture the little plastic frame around it. So if you're going to take it out, make sure you put it back in the way it is. If you're just doing a screen replacement, you actually don't have to remove that. If you're doing a screen-only replacement, you can leave your Daughterboard at the top in as well. I suggest removing it just because you don't want to damage it as you're heating up the device. There you have it. There's the disassembly. If you want to see the screen removal video, I'll throw it down in the description. If you found the video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. Questions or comments are in the comment section. And subscribe to me if you want to see future videos. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this one.